This episode is sponsored by Supreme of the UK. Click the link in the description and support the podcast. Quote CFR at the checkout and receive 10% discount on your order.
Enlightenment is what I see. So I'm searching, man, I'm digging deep. Boy, I got a thirst to kill an enemy. So every day I pray for my soul to keep me focused on why should die before I wake. I was never scared of my fate, because when you're not scared to die, I believe that's when you see the light and really come alive. In this world of hell, these motherfuckers think they tricking us, but my soul is now for sale. No, I will never give it up, never give it up. Only time will tell, but will my tale be big enough to let the people know that their soul, they should never give it up, never give it up. You people should be ashamed. Your talent was given to help, but you're using it just for the fame. You missing your target, you off with your aim. This one got you lost in a trance, you lost in your sorrow, you lost in your shame. But I really think I'm better off with the pain. It just makes me stronger, so when I'm lost and insane, I can find myself and remind myself of my purpose. And I drive myself, cause I myself think I'm worthy. You can't buy me, sorry, this soul is not for purchase. And death is nothing, sometimes I do a little flirt. Let's go! In this world of hell, these motherfuckers think they tricking us, but my soul is not for sale. No, I will never give it up, never give it up. Only time will tell, but will my tale be big enough to let the people know that their soul, they should never give it up, never give it up. Never gonna give it up, never gonna give it up, never gonna give it up, never gonna give it up. I'll never give up myself, never gonna give it up. 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 I'll never give up myself. You searching for all the wrong things in all the wrong places. Everything is not what it seems. The facts say that you just gotta be able to face them. Always follow your dream, but you don't have to fucking sell your soul to make it. And those that dare the hollows to me, don't just follow the lead. We are gods and Satans, living in a world of lies, living in a world of lust. We are idiots, we don't know what love really is, so there will never be trust. Living in a world of lies, living in a world of lust. We are idiots, we don't know what love really is, so there will never be trust. In this world of hell, these motherfuckers think they tricking us, but my soul is now for sale. No, I will never give it up, never give it up. Only time will tell, but will my tale be big enough to let the people know that their soul, they should never give it up, never give it up. Never gonna give it up, never gonna give it up, never gonna give it up, never gonna give it up. I'll never give up myself, never gonna give it up, never gonna give it up, never gonna give it up, never gonna give it up. I'll never give up myself.
Cars, internet. I remember in school, I've said it multiple times, when the teacher said, yo, we've got something special to show you today. This is called the internet. Now, I had already knew what it was, because luckily we had a computer and my dad went all out.
Yes.
But no, the rest of the children in the school, they never knew what that was. And I remember man's like, yo, the internet. Look today. I remember when cameras on phones first started. So, what you think's possible in 500 years? What you think's possible in 1,000? And think about it now, Noble. The same way how technology is advanced, that same 8th Christmas, the world was different, but the world's always evolving. But if you look in today's world, what's acceptable now compared to what was acceptable back then, then think about 25 years from now. Then think about 50 years. So that theory makes sense, because eventually, like as things stand now, we're in the era of, I don't know what it's called, but we're in an era of like gender wars. And the gender wars are very, very dangerous, and we're not going to see the effects of it right now. But down the line, we're going to see the effects of these gender wars. Trust me, a lot of people are going to understand that this was a terrible thing. Trust me, it was a terrible thing. So that's just the times we are living in. We're just living in mad times.
You say 1,000 years. See, based upon our current ideological, social, etc., technological understanding, overstanding, and understanding, you would think we're going to be in the realms of Star Trek, the first generation. Yeah. where you've got the communicator, which is in essence our mobile phones. We've caught up in that respect, but we're gonna, again, in this mindset, we're gonna be able to teleport wherever the hell we want. Yeah, we're gonna have crazy augmented reality and all that. This is just following my chain of thought. This is based upon this. But if we rewind the times, and again, I've said this previously, nothing new under the sun. So, as you've said and hypothesized, and there's evidence for this, civilizations rising, falling, would they have not had the same access to the same technology in a different format? I think yes.
They would have.
But it wouldn't look nothing like what we would recognize as the technology we're using today now. And I think the further and further we go back, the further and further we go back, the less reliance on the technology we know as today, and it was more of the people themselves doing that. So let's get metaphysical. Let's talking about utilizing more than, what did they say, 7% of our brain? What if we was able to utilize 100% of our brain? Let's go back to that film with, what's her name, with the little nose. What's the thing? What's her name again? What's the film? And she's like she becomes like a super woman kind of thing. They ingest
new or old?
Oldish, thousands. I can picture her, and right at the end, she goes right back into time and all that, and she goes and meets Eve. Not Eve.
Nice, in that one.
Yeah, you have, man. You have. I'm sorry, guys. I'm blanking of the name. She basically she's in a club. Something happens. She gets mixed up somehow and kidnapped by drugged up. That's it. She gets drugged up. They put some new age drug in her stomach and make her be a drug mule. She goes, whatever, the parcel's broke in her, and she goes through this mad transformation where she can change shape, she can interact with Morgan Freeman's in it as well. I know you've seen the thing, man. I know you've seen the thing. You're not talking,
is it like a, nah, I ain't seen it, Noble. I ain't seen it.
Yeah.
Not with Morgan Freeman.
He was like a scientist. We got anyone in the chat? Nah,
no one's in here right now.
Oh man, sugar.
Nah, man, I'll get it up, man. From you saying it's Freeman, we can
Morgan,
discover it. Definitely Morgan Freeman, yeah.
Yeah, definitely Morgan Freeman. She was in the Avengers. The red-haired girl from Avengers is in it.
Okay, you're talking about. I know who you're on about. I'll tell you the film now.
That kind of shit. So I'm saying that element of that is a fantasy version of what I'm talking about. In essence, she had 100% capability of her access to her brain, 100%, and she was able to do things that we would think is out of this damn world. But again, not utilizing technology that we know. So a computer per se. This is all as a man or woman thinketh, so it shall be.
Lucy,
adapt this something there. Yes.
Yeah, I ain't seen it still. I'm gonna have to watch that now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it now though.
Peep that, sibling. You missed out on that one. And the squadron, the listeners, please definitely watch that if you haven't watched it. It's interesting. It's a bit of a piss take. Maybe we could do a review of it after you've peeped it, because I don't want to give nothing away. But there is a bit of a piss take in it still when you go back at the rights to the end of the film. But yeah, it's definitely worthwhile watching, man. Definitely worthwhile watching. But it highlights what I'm saying, like the mind. We are without the instruments can enable us to do things. So what they say is, like cavemen that could only do certain things, and the difference between a Homo sapien and a monkey is that they can just about pick up things and manipulate them with their hands, whereas we've got complex abilities, multiple digits on our hands, so we can fashion things into axes, tools, etc. I'm saying we didn't even need to do no physical thing, and it's without us, the interface, those physical objects mean nothing, right?
100%.
So a rock can sit down there and be a rock until someone says, you know what, I'm going to carve out that rock in Lelabella, and I'm going to make a church out of a rock. You know what I mean? In the shape of a cross. Like, how did they do that, sibling? They ain't doing that. No, they ain't doing that now. We're building towers, skyscrapers like the Tower of Nimrod, high up into the sky.
You want to see what the Saudis want to do? They want to build a city, an indoor city.
The line.
That's it. The line, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Like, if these things come to fruition, like, I don't think people understand. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because they're saying that you can house millions in that place.
Millions, and you don't need to. You'll go less than, less than 500 meters. Everything's there for you. You come out your house, you got your shopping thing, your workplace is just around the corner. You know what I mean? There's going to be very limited uses of personal car. There won't be need for a personal car because everything's going to be in your own kind of vicinity.
Yeah, that's all coming, innit? That's all coming. And then there's that other tower, what the Japanese are building. You know, that's going to be the biggest tower in the world.
Yes.
That as well. Yes. And they want to do that for real. And that's going to go up into the clouds, that one.
Yeah, man. Yes, because where they're situated as well, where they want to do it. Listen, there's some mega projects, man. Just type in mega projects into BoobTube and you will be amazed. And you're thinking, well, where the $365 billion developments? Huh? Where are they getting this money from? Like, wait a minute. They're spending all this. So you've got Russia doing things, you got China doing things, and you know about the Belt Road project that China's doing?
No, which one's that one?
They're linking the world. They're linking the whole world up. They're investing billions into all of these different countries, port-wise, because they want to be able to send their things straight from China through mainland, like go through Eurasia, come through Europe, Africa and all that, then jump on a boat and whatever. They just want a direct line so they can just ship things everywhere across the world. So it's a massive project, massive project that they're doing. And some countries, like especially Africa, some African countries are benefiting from their loans to create the infrastructure and stuff. But it's globalization ultimately. It's like we're doing that, but yet everybody doesn't have food, clothing, and shelter. Everybody in this world doesn't even have access to clean water. Sibling, we got people in the richest continent of the world with open sewerage at the sides of the road. We can go back home to the Caribbean, and some of the places again will have open sewerage. What are we talking about?
We didn't bring it. We didn't bring. You know, all it is. It's evident. This is what I say. You know, because I'll keep it real myself. Like, I feel like a lot of us here, like Black British, we're part of the problem. We're definitely part of the problem. You know, because historically, we know how Africa is the richest place on earth. You see what I mean? That's a blessed continent. However, we don't invest in it. We don't go back. As in, I know we're like Caribbean or whatever, but that's where we're from. And a lot of us don't do nothing there. Like, when I was just in Gambia now, I've said this to you off air, but I met a brother there. I met multiple brothers there. And all of them have horrific stories of, you know, going down the wrong path in the UK and multiple baby mothers and getting involved in gangs and shootings and all kind of mad crime and madness. And they've gone back there, and a lot of these men are married, running businesses, and they've completely 360'd their mindset. They're all doing well, but what they've brought is their knowledge from the West.
Yes.
And implemented it there. You see what I'm saying? Whereas I'll tell you, I'll speak for myself. It's absolutely embarrassing that I've only stepped foot in the continent twice. That's embarrassing because I'm a well-traveled man. I've been everywhere. And my parents tried, for years, because they've been African enough times, but they tried for years. Yo, go there. It's mad that I've never even taken my children there. It's mad because what I'm saying is but that's why they're so behind there, because Gambia, there's no traffic. I know, because me and you spoke off air, so I know what you're gonna say. No traffic lights, no roads. Like, things are Asian. I would say when I stood up in Gambia and I really checked out the thing, you're probably talking about 60 years behind. Yeah. I'm saying probably 60 years behind the UK, probably 100 years behind the UK. You cannot even order food, fam. There's no apps or none of that. So imagine if you go there and develop a Just Eat. Like, this is what I'm trying to say, but you've got you can just, there's so much things you can do there, but we don't have the knowledge. We don't, luckily, thank God, Express Truth, I've met some wonderful people that will be lifelong friends who have guided me to the continent. So I've landed and I'm nice, you know what I mean? Mans are able to say, yo, come, do this, do that. I'm seeing it for myself because I've got a business head, but that's why they're so behind. Whereas the Chinese, I tell you the facts. If you go back home to Jamaica, people talk about Chinese, this and that, but any child born outside of China has to visit China before the age of 3. You know that?
No, I didn't.
All right, you know that now. Chinese, their things set up different. And when you really check it, we're seeing a changing of the guard. Now, a change of the guard might take 100 years, but it's happening right now. Where, if you think about it, everything's made in China. They're straight business. Like, they got electric cars. When this explosion of electric cars is new here, Chinese have been doing that for a minute.
Yes.
Chinese have been doing that for a while, and it's like a world within this world.
Yeah.
China is just a whole complete animal. Now, Africa, China have all their residents, and they give them the knowledge and then send them around the world.
Yeah.
When Chinese move to Yard, they don't become Jamaican. They're Chinese that are living in Jamaica.
Yeah.
When Chinese go to Africa, they don't become African. They're Chinese that are living in Africa, and they implement their ways around the world. You don't hear about no Chinaman getting killed in Yard. You hear about no Chinaman you can see that in shutters, but that ain't never happening. You don't see no Chinaman ain't worried about nothing going wrong for him in Yard. Whereas us, I know I'm all over the place with what I'm saying, but we're not doing it. There's so much money to be made. If it's money you're trying to make, it's a short flight.
It's a very short flight, but what you got to think of as well, and I'm sure you would agree with this, not fully, because you wouldn't have had, been under that because you had a strong family structure of sorts, but we've all had a form of brainwashing in regards to Africa and not fully connecting and understanding its significance and importance. We've been made to feel more nationalistic in regards to the island we come from, per se. Brom 0121 kind of thing. We as people are tribal and we want to identify with things. But again, going back to the main thing, is they've sowed this discord between not only directly aimed at us, but aimed at the Africans as well, the continental Africans, all of the different countries, Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, etc., South Africa. They've been given this kind of propaganda kind of view of, oh, so if you're from the Caribbean, you're Jamaican, and all of the islands are Jamaican, and all Jamaicans are criminals, or they're drug dealers, or it's this negative connotation. So it's a two-way thing. You get continental Africans who just think Caribbeans are just lazy, wasteful people, or they're criminals.
Let me jump in. I gotta jump in, no, but that's what, growing up, that's what, I don't know how I had this belief, but that is what was my belief. Because anytime I rub shoulders with any African British people, because I didn't meet a lot. Well, I know a lot now, but when I was younger, I didn't know a lot. And anytime I did rub shoulders, I did feel they had a certain perception of us. But in going back there and actually mingling amongst the people and being amongst the people, they love us, man. They love us and they're happy to see us there. But the thing is, it's like, the reason they're so behind, because like the things that we know here and we've learned, like I just said, there's no just eat there. So you just think, I've said it even, I'm not going to get personal or none of that, but with what you do, no, but you're a millionaire. With what you do there, you're a millionaire, fam. But a lot of people, you ain't going to know that unless somebody there, and this is what I'm saying, a lot of men are going back there now and building up. And they're building up. I remember when you got that British passport, that's powerful. Don't let nobody fool you, That passport's powerful anywhere in the world. And if you've got it, use it.
Yes.
Use it, man. Travel, use it, go places. It's easier to get things done when you got that passport.
Yeah, man.
Now, I did want to do things in Jamaica. I did want to do some long-term projects and some long-term, we actually got the ball rolling last year on an idea, but the mentality, it's not me. It's just not me. The mentality, it's not me. And without offending no one, like I'm not your. Anytime Jamaica's brought up on social media or in movies or anything like that, it's all about partying and good vibes. I'm not that type of Jamaican. I'm more like a Marcus Garvey, which that you don't see them people no more. No. That kind of Jamaican you don't see anymore. You see what I mean? You don't see that kind of. Now it's just about like Jada Kingdom and dancing and partying and how bad man I do. That's not me.
No. My
thing, when I look at like my granddad, I say this all the time. He's one of the biggest landowners in Clarendon. In them days. In them days, so you got to think the kind of lineage I come from. So I know to myself I can't do nothing there because it's a place that it's a beautiful island and the people are beautiful, but bread and circuses is a real thing. I'm not a part of the circus. I'm part of the crowd that eat bread. And I feel like the islands turn into somewhat of a circus. Now, when you go back to Africa, fam, depending on where you go, Ghana, no, and South Africa, no, they've got it right. Ghana and South Africa, they know what they are doing. Trust me. The Ghanaians and the South Africans are developing those places beyond belief.
Yes.
Black South Africans, they're getting things to a level now. Whereas when you go places like Gambia and Sierra Leone and places like that, you can make money. But you got to take that jump. You got to take that jump. And you got to think out of your lifetime. Not a lot of us can do that. So
it's tricky.
What I'm doing in Gambia, like, I will benefit from. But my children will ultimately benefit more. And their children, if they get it, if they continue what I'm doing, their children. So I'm looking at generational things. Because it's like, yeah, man, even if you look on my WhatsApp now, I put up a video, and this is a video of drones, firefighter drones that the Chinese have now developed, and they are very, very efficient. They get the job done 95% of the time, and China will be extending that technology to the rest of the world. Now, some people might look at that and say, whatever. But that's a scary sight, because what's that showing you? You don't need firemen no more.
Exactly, sibling. I was
You know,
just about to.
Exactly. You don't need firemen, so you gotta think that's a traditional job. A man can buy his house, go on one holiday a year, raise his family historically off the back of being a fireman. I believe in 50 years that job will no longer exist. That's just one example. Look at them robot dogs. Look at them. Now imagine, yeah, if you're a businessman, your whole thing is to increase profit and decrease spending. So if you look, remember the days in Tesco? You'd go in there, there'd only be 1 or 2 of them self-checkouts. Yo, the Tesco around here, we've probably got about 20. Morrison's, there's just one man who watches over them.
Yes.
The robots are doing the job. Now, this is still in its infancy. Now, you imagine 50 years, all these low-end jobs, all these call centers, with no disrespect to nobody. I even believe nursing. And I believe
Doctors.
that one day you'll be able to lie on a table and someone will just scan you.
Yeah.
Say, you've got this, that, and the third. Yeah, man, all them things are going to go on. All them things. So, what?
Accountancy is going to go with AI?
Exactly. So, what am I saying now? Why am I saying all this? Even down to graphics, you won't need AI anymore. So, why am I saying all this? Because I'm saying, if you walk this earth for you, you have nothing to be worried about. If you're just living for you, then you can ignore this. You can even just exit this stream right now. But if you're walking this earth with a view that, when I'm gone, I want to make sure everyone that I've brought forth has an opportunity, then that's why you got to make investments now that you may not see the benefit of for the next 10, 15, even 20 years.
Yeah.
And these are the facts. These are the facts. You have to be able to know. Because what did the pandemic show us? It showed us that in the click of a finger, the rules can change. Look how much, there was things that were running before the pandemic, that ain't running now.
Yeah.
Like they can just switch it up, boom. You can't spend cash anywhere. And trust me, people, I'm not one of those New World Order. I'm not one of them people. No disrespect to them, man, but I'm just not one of them. But all that stuff there, what them man were talking was facts. The cashless society is well and truly here.
Yes.
Like that got ushered in so beautifully that we didn't even notice it. It got to the point now, the only place where I pay cash right now is the car wash. That's it. Everywhere else, even the barber had to get with the program, because what's happening now is people are coming, I ain't got no cash. There's no, it's all money and it's digital footprint. They can see every penny you spent.
Yes.
Every penny you made, they can check your taxes. There's no way to live off the grid. It's damn near impossible because they've got you covered on every front. They got it covered. So when you start going back to Africa and you're seeing how men are doing their thing there, and you're saying, I can get involved, I can get involved. I can do this here. I can do that. I can do this. And you start to see what's possible, what you can do, how you can bring what you know. You know how much man I know who's got, there's so much, even with our little city, Birmingham, so much talent here, so much entrepreneurs. I know guys, who are just entrepreneurs through and through, but they don't have the doors to walk through.
Yes.
A person like that needs to travel. It's a fact. I know one girl, she was here in London for years. Nothing was going in. She ended up taking a flight back to Ghana. She's gone back to Ghana. She's killing it. Killing it because them same doors that are closed here are open there.
Wide open, sibling.
And I can't say it to man enough. Like the same way how I just book and go Faliraki, or just book and go Cyprus or somewhere. All them things are over for me, fam. Besides like my children, Africa I'm dealing with. Now, yard, I would love to be able to, even just in the name of like my grandparents, like I'd love to be able to do something in yard.
Of course.
But the violence, unfortunately, the violence ain't gonna allow me to do that. It's not. You see what I mean? I just can't do it. And I just feel like I'm not part of the circus, fam. I'm just not. I'm a bread eater, not circus. People, if you don't know what that is, Google bread and circuses and understand where it comes from and what it means. And I think with Jamaica, it's like everything's a party, everything's a game. I'm not living my life ain't like that.
Nah.
My life ain't like that. So when I went over there and I said, man, watch the vlog, patrons, watch the vlog, you'll see yourself. I met brothers that are building 5-bed mansions in Africa, running multiple businesses. I met the guy who's he's launching in Gambia. They don't even do MOTs. He's launching the first MOT government approved premises in Gambia. You know how much money he's gonna make from that?
He's gonna clean up, and also putting my other hat on from a compliance standpoint.
Yeah,
that is excellent, man. For peace of mind, because you know when we go to these a developing country, things are done very differently to how they're done here. You know what I mean? So for safety reasons as well, purposes, that's an excellent thing, man. That's a really good thing.
Government approved. So what? I'll get personal on this thing. I'll get personal. I met a man, the same brother who's doing the MOTs. He got a contract with the government with he had 2 pickup trucks that he shipped from here over to Gambia, and he's got a government contract in doing, you know, when people are illegally parked and stuff. So he can tow vehicles and stuff. Man's got a government contract. To get a government contract in the UK is damn near impossible.
Very much so.
And you know the sea are sitting as well. So you should know I'm talking from a place of experience. It's impossible. Government contracts, yeah. Are you mad?
Yeah.
Those things stay in families. Those kind of things stay in family generations. If you go Solihull, people, if you're not from Brum, yeah, there's a place just outside of Brum called Solihull. Enough man don't even know the history of that place. You can't just go Solihull and buy a house. You can't just go Solihull. Like, it's a place that's set up a certain way.
Yeah.
You can't get government contracts in the UK, but imagine you can get a government contract in Gambia.
That's big.
There you go. You can get government healthcare, private healthcare, all that stuff. So if you're really serious about planting seeds, that's the place to plant them. Even on the music front, right now, like we've been speaking about it for a long time, but Afro beats moving forward will be the face of black music, 100%. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, Afro beats will be the face of black music in the future. These men are ramming out stadiums and all that stuff.
Yes.
Like South Up, they're doing 7-hour raves where it's just imagine Villa Park, yeah, with a DJ on the stage and people raving for 7 hours. That does not happen. So just think videographers, editors, just think how much work's about. Okay, let me move to another thing. Films, movies.
Yeah.
Over there, you jump on Netflix, there's 1 million movies. People don't even watch no movies from Hollywood. It's all African films. All African films, South Africa, Nigeria, all these films. The first time I watched a Nigerian film, it was one of the worst films I ever seen. I turned it off immediately. Watching it now, it ain't that far from Hollywood.
Yeah, stepped the game up tremendously.
The game's gone up crazy. And it's not like you have to be Nigerian, you know. You can get involved if you want to. Remember we made Shutdown City here. Imagine if you see what I mean. You just have to go. You just have to make that step. But if you don't want to make that step, you'll never know what's possible. And that's all I'm saying. Like, just think, we live in a place that you can get anywhere within 24 hours. You can really get to anywhere on this earth within 24 hours. That's a blessing.
It really is.
So there's nothing, especially if my younger self, if I knew what I knew now, trust me, like you could go anywhere and invest in things. Look at all the, over here, you gotta just open up your mind. That's all I'd say. You gotta just open up your mind to the world and understand it's a bigger place than you think. There's a
Massive,
lot,
man.
Bigger place than you think, and there's a lot of opportunity. But if you just stay within negative news and negative Twitter news and negative people that are just constantly going on about negative things, negative experiences, you'll start to be consumed by that and think, this is all that's to life. Nah, that's not the case. There's a bag of things you can do, man. Bag of things.
It's beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. Life is. It does have its ups and downs. It just definitely has its trials and tribulations. But ultimately, you're faced with a challenge. What do you do? This is the thing. This is the thing. And obviously, people are cut from different cloths, and we get that, and that's the beauty of humanity. But we're faced with a challenge. What do? You sort it out. That's what I do. But some people, that challenge breaks them. Oh my God, I can't do it. You can't do what? Just do it, innit? Yo, you've had a puncture. Oh God, I've had a puncture, man. It's gonna cost me 80 quid for the new tire. Just okay. You're working. You own a vehicle. You know that sometimes you get flat tires and sometimes they can't be repaired, and you gotta buy a new tire. You know what I mean? You made the decision. Rather than getting a smaller car where the tire will cost you £40, you're going for a bigger boy thing. The car is costing you £80 now. You're lucky it isn't costing you £160 for the fronts and 200 and something pound for the rears. Yeah, good point. Yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, man, think. Come on, man, you got the dough. If you haven't got the dough, then it's like, okay, then what I'm gonna do? Well, you got a spare. Use the spare so you can save up the money and then change the tire, innit? Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, man. I'm glad I had you here, Noble. Nah, man, you didn't need me, man. That challenge is a minor thing, man. It seems like people these days, Mark, it's any little bump in the road. Not a bump in the road where you have to go down into first gear to go into. I'm talking about a bump in the road where you can just raw sail over in third or something. It's a major thing. It's the end of the world, Mark. Yo, I got a puncture. What am I gonna do?
Because we're creating weak people. A lot of weak men have been created from today's world, and I see it like from school. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. But the age I'm sitting at now, and I look at it, a lot of weak men were being created, man. Like you said, like they can't even do basic problem solving. Basic. I'm talking proper basic or even long-term thinking. Like, it's a constant, life is constantly moving. You see what I mean? Life's constantly moving, but a lot of people don't have that concept. They just don't understand, innit? And with social media, I can understand why, because let's say I was 21 again. When you go on there, yeah, everyone seems to have things figured out.
Yeah.
Everyone's got everything figured out, that everyone's living this luxury life and have no problems, and everything seems perfect on there. So it ain't hard for young people to get caught up in a certain mindset. You see what I mean? And you may not think it can affect you, but it can affect all of us, because you can go on there, yeah, and something you see as a problem in your life, someone on there is talking about it as a minor.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? That's how social media works. It's highlights of people's best moments.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? So you're just seeing people at their best. Just think about a wedding. Think about, let's just say your brother's getting married, yeah, or your sister's getting married. You're gonna have your best suit, You're going to have your best haircut, your best shoes. You're going to be smelling like $1,000,000. Take pictures then. That's social media.
Yeah.
You're seeing everyone at the top right now. My beard's huge. I can't come on stream without the hat because I got a high top that ain't even shaped up. And because I've been in the sun and with the magic green juice, right now my things could all turn to locks. So I'm trying to show, man, there's more to this, innit? You can, even if you're, whatever it is you want to do here, you can do it here, you know, but you can also do it in Africa as well. So when people are like, yo, nothing's go, you know, like you'll have people that are always moaning. Like I know this one particular guy, all he does is moan about everything, work, moan, you know what I mean? Home life, moan, relationship, moan, everything, his own personal appearance, moan. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Why don't you make some changes then?
Exactly.
Moans about and I'm just saying, like, sometimes I don't even want to chat to you, man, because all you do is moan and you don't look like you want to change nothing or nothing. You just moan about every single thing and everything someone else's fault. Everything someone else's fault. I'm saying, the only time your life truly starts to progress, you know, is when you take control of it and accountability for your own position.
Yes.
And when you start understanding, yo, no one owes me nothing, you know. Not a soul owes me nothing, but I don't owe a soul nothing either. These are just little things, man, that I wish I knew when I was younger. And there's so much people who are just wasting time. But going back to the original point, that's why I think as much as people despise the Chinese, and I know that they've treated a lot of people that look like us really, really bad, but their ideology, is it really that wrong though? If we was over there, let's say it was us. I know they do some questionable things, but let's say it was us. We were in their seat right now. Are you not supposed to move that way? With they give man, think about it, they give man electric, or they give man solar, all these mad things in order to take position in your place. Is an exchange a robbery?
No, but it's not necessarily a fair exchange. It's unequally bad. It's unequally yoked, should I say?
But was it forcefully?
No, of course not.
All right, so that's it. So even when you go yard, the Chinese community, they live away from the indigenous. They live away in their own communities, safe and sound, and they do their own thing. When you go Gambia, like I was chatting to someone the other day, and I'm telling him about Gambia and all the investment opportunities and all this stuff, and he's like, "Oh, that's long, man. Oh, that's long. It ain't long for the Indian, man. It ain't long for the Bangladesh, man. It ain't long for the China, man. They're moving 1 trillion miles from their place to set up shop. So that mindset's helped kill the motherland too. Because look how there's, man, even in Sierra Leone, you know, you've got white men that own the land. And the Sierra Leones are working on the land. I'm saying to myself, what the hell is going on here, man? Like, imagine that. Where does that happen? Where does that happen? A white brother from Manchester, you know, under 40, owns acres in Sierra Leone and got the indigenous digging on the land. And if they find one diamond or piece of gold, yo, you gotta bring that to my man. Yes. Otherwise it's short sleeve, long sleeve. That's the movie. That's all done with, but back in the day it used to be that.
Yes, exactly.
It's not that anymore though. I was just some humor. It's not that anymore though. But back in the day, and I'm saying that's mad. If you don't see that as mad, cool. But to me, that's mad.